Hello friends, in the previous lecture we have seen Lvdt, its types and its characteristics. In today's lecture we have to focus on Rvdt, that is rotational variable displacement transducers. Rvdt, what is Rvdt? These are the rotary variable differential transformers. Now what is Rvdt? It is an electromechanical transducers that provides a variable alternating current output voltage that is linearly proportional to the angular displacement of the input shaft. So here we can see the basic difference between the Rvdt and the Lvdt. So what we have seen in the Lvdt? In the Lvdt, that is again the electromechanical transducers which converts the mechanical form of the energy into the electrical signal, but in Lvdt the output voltage is proportional to the linear displacement. See, we have to focus on this. In Lvdt the output voltage is proportional to the linear displacement, whereas in Rvdt the output voltage, AC voltage, that is proportional to the angular displacement of its input shaft. So this is the basic difference between Rvdt and the Lvdt. So in Rvdt, when it is energized with the AC source, the output signal is linear within the specified range over the angular displacement. What does it say? The output signal is linear within the specified range over the angular displacement. Now here what is happening? Your output voltage linearly varies with the angular displacement. So here we have to measure the angular displacement of the object. So it utilizes brushless non-contacting technology to ensure the long life and the reliable repeatable position sensing with infinite resolution. Such reliable, repeatable performance assurance, it gives us the most accurate position sensing under the most extreme operating conditions. So this is the advantage of Rvdt, that because of its brushless non-contacting technology, it is having very long life and these are the reliables. Now let us focus on the construction of the Rvdt. So like every transformer, Rvdt has two types of the windings, primary and the secondary windings. The primary and the secondary windings are wound on a former. Now the thing is, what we have seen in Lvdt, in Lvdt also there are primary and the secondary windings we have seen. Like transformers which works on the mutual induction principle, Lvdt worked on the same principle. And if we see the Rvdts also consist of primary windings and the secondary windings. And the primary and the secondary windings are wound on a former. So there are two secondary windings having equal number of turns. Like in the Lvdts, that is linear variable displacement transducers, they were having again the two secondary windings having the same number of turns. In Rvdt also the secondary winding is having two parts which are having same number of turns. So these windings are placed on either sides of the primary windings identically. That means if suppose this is the primary winding, the secondary windings are placed on the both the sides of the primary winding, and these secondary windings having same number of turns, of the windings. So the basic difference in the Lvdt and the Rvdt construction is, it is in the shape of that. So Rvdts are cam-shaped magnetic core made up of soft iron is connected into the shaft, and this magnetic core can be thus be rotated between the windings. So what we have seen in LVDT? In LVDT, there is a magnetic core between the primary and the secondary winding, and the displacement or the motion of the core in the LVDT, that is to and fro. But what is the difference in RVDT? The magnetic core is rotating between the windings like this. So this is the basic difference between the LVDT and RVDT. In RVDT, the magnetic core is rotating, and in LVDT, that is from to and from position, the magnetic core is displacement. Now this is what the constructional diagram of the RVDT. It is, we can say this is very similar to the LVDT. In LVDT also, there was a primary winding, secondary winding, which was portioned into two parts, ES1 and ES2. Now what is the difference between these two? In this core, in the LVDT, the core was like placed, and the motion is from ES1 to ES2. In the case of LVDT, that is related to the linear displacement. In the RVDT, the core is placed like this, and it is rotating from anti-clockwise to the clockwise direction. So this is the difference between the RVDT and the LVDT, that is placement in the core. So it gives you the almost same construction of the RVDT and the LVDT, and you can see the difference that core is cam-shaped here. This core you can see which is cam-shaped, and it is rotating between the windings like a shaft. Now let us see the working principle of RVDT. The reluctance seen by the primary MMF changes with the rotation of the camshaft. This results in the changes in the magnetic flux with rotation of the camshaft. So if we see the working principle of RVDT, that is again depending upon the mutual inductance. If there is a primary coil and the secondary coils are there, the induced EMF, it is due to the EMF which is connected or which is generated in the primary of the coil. So this results in the changes in the magnetic flux with rotation of the camshaft. The way the camshaft is rotating, that is how the induced EMF is changing in the S1 and the S2. Due to this change in the magnetic flux with the rotation of the cam, the flux linkage of the secondary windings also changes. Therefore, as for the transformer action, an EMF induced in the secondary winding. So how the EMF is inducing in the secondary winding? When the primary winding is excited with the AC source, there is a production of the magnetic flux, and there is a shaft between this primary and the secondary windings. When this shaft is rotating between these two windings, what is happening? The EMF is induced in S1 and S2 due to transformer action. And the magnitude of the induced EMF will depend upon the rate of change of rotation. What we have seen in LVDT, the magnitude of the induced EMF was depending on the rate of change of displacement. Because here in the RVDT, these are the rotary types. We have to focus on the rotational displacement. We have to see the angular displacement. So the EMF induced will depend on the change of rotation. The more the rate of change of rotation, the more will be the rate of change of flux with respect to, and hence more EMF will be induced. What is happening here? what is the change of rotation here? The number of changes in the rotation, that will be the number of changes in the flux with respect to it. So how does this Rvdt work? Under the normal conditions of the Rvdt, the flux linkage for both the secondary windings are same, and due to their symmetrical placing with respect to the primary and the core. Why the flux linkage for the secondary windings are same? Because they are symmetrically placed with respect to the primary and the core. Therefore, the induced EMF ES1 and the ES2 are equal, and hence the output voltage E0 of the transducer in such condition is called as E0 equals to 0 volts, which is producing. Therefore, at normal position, Rvdt it is at the null position. So what is happening at the null position? In the null position, whatever the placement of the windings or the core in between the primary and the secondary windings, that is identical. And due to identical placement, the rotation of the shaft between the primary and the secondary windings, that is equal. So whatever the induced EMF which is generated at the E1 and E2, because the symmetrical placement of the shaft, the E1 and E2 will be generating same. And if we see the net difference, E1 minus E2, that will be 0. So we can say it is at the null position. So this is the first case related to the Rvdt. Now consider the second case. In the second case, if the shaft is rotating clockwise direction between the primary winding and the secondary winding. If the shaft is rotating in the clockwise direction, it increases the voltage. It increases the induced voltage due to the primary of 1. And that increase in voltage, it is in the ES1. Thus the direction as well as the magnitude of the angular rotation can be ascertained from the magnitude and the phase of the transducer output voltage. Phase of the transducer output voltage means whether ES1 minus ES2 is positive or negative. So on what criteria the phase of the transducer output depends? The phase is depending upon the value of ES1 minus ES2. If the value is positive, we can say these are in phase, and when it is negative, we can say these are out of phase. Again, the phase of these depending upon the clockwise and the anti-clockwise rotation of the cam. Now what we have seen, the clockwise rotation of the cam. When the clockwise rotation is there, we can say the phase of the transducer output, it is in phase with the input. Now consider the third case, when the anti-clockwise rotation we have to see. So when the anti-clockwise rotation we are considering, this ES1 will be more than the ES2. That is why we can consider ES1 minus ES2 will be positive. In the first case, what we have considered? Clockwise direction. In the clockwise direction, the induced voltage at the ES1 will be more and the induced voltage in the ES2 is less. In the anti-clockwise direction, the induced EMF in the ES2 is more and the induced EMF in the ES1 will be less. So with the same logic, when the cam is rotating in the clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction, the output voltage will be negative. We can say these are the out of phase with the primary voltage. So how can we recognize it is in phase or the out of phase? When output, it is rotating and it is giving the output voltage of the primary voltage which are in phase, we can say they are in phase. And when, if the output voltage is negative, we can say the output voltage and the primary voltage are out of phase. So this is related to the RVDT working principle and the operation. Now the next part we have to focus on how to choose the RVDT. What is the criteria of choosing the RVDT? Very first point is the accuracy. We have seen this term accuracy many times. What is accuracy? Accuracy, it is the closeness of the measured value to the true value. So the first criteria is accuracy. RVDT should give us the more accurate operations, more accurate outputs. Next one is the work environment. Again, the thing is RVDT should not get affected due to the working environment or the external conditions. Now, what work environments we have to consider? Like if suppose there is a tremendous change in the temperature, or the presence of the pollutants or high sounds of the vibrations are there, there should not be any changes in the measured output in the RVDT. Then the RVDT should have the backup power source. What are the backup power source? If the RVDT needs the input of the alternating current for the generating the preferred analyzer output, if there is no backup source, then the electromechanical sensor will not get good choice. So for getting the preferred analytic output, we should have the backup sources. Next is change of signal. What is change of signal? Nowadays, for some applications, if we choose any sensor which can be used for changing the data into readable digital output on the PC. What we have seen in LVDT, that LVDT is electromechanical type of transducer in which linear displacement is converted into the proportional output, and in RVDT angular displacement is proportional to the output. Now what we have to see is when that mechanical energy is converted into the electrical signal, if we want that in the readable form, digital form, we have to convert that electrical signal into the digital one. And in LVDT we have seen the interfacing, that is if we have to convert that electrical signal into the digital one, we have seen the serial portables like RS-232, that is for the serial communication, in which we have to convert the electrical signal into the digital one. And for the parallel connections, we have seen IEEE 488. So if there is a change of signal in the RVDT, we have to choose such a type of sensors which will not get affected when the signal is converting from the electrical one to the digital one. Now let us focus on the what are the advantages of the RVDT. So the first advantage of the RVDT is its consistency is very high. The exactness of the RVDT is very high. And if we consider the lifespan of the RVDT, that is very long. Why the lifespan of the RVDT is very long? Because these are using the non-contact type brushless technology, so the lifespan of the RVDT is very long. Then we can say the performance is repeatable. What is this term? Performance is repeatable means it gives us the high precision. Range of the measured values is called as precision. So it gives us the performance which is repeatable. The construction is compact and the strong. Again, if we have to choose the area or the place for the instrument, so its construction is so much compact that it requires less area. Then it is durable. It is having low cost, and this can be easily handle electronic components, and resolution is infinite. And linearity of the Rvdt is excellent. What is linearity? That change in output with respect to the input. And it has the wide range of the dimensions. So we have seen the advantages of Rvdt. So there must be some disadvantages related to it. What are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage of Rvdt is the contact among the measuring exterior as well as the nozzle is not possible for all time. The next disadvantage is the output of Rvdt is linear only at this range only. So there is a restriction in the usability of the Rvdt because its output is linear only at plus 40 to minus 40 degrees. That's why there is a restriction in the usability of the Rvdt. Now let us see the Rvdt applications where the Rvdts are used. So these are used in the fuel valves as well as in the hydraulics. LVDT are also used in the hydraulics. This can be used in machine tools. It controls the cockpits in the air control and the air shafts. It controls fuels because its angular displacement technology is usable for the controlling the fuel. It brakes with the cable system. It used for the engine's bleed air system. Rvdt is having wide range of applications in the robotics. These are used in the process control industries. These are used in the weapons and torpedo systems. So these are used in the engine fuel control, nose wheel steering system, fly-by-wire system, push reversers. This can be used in actuators for controlling the flight as well as in the engines. Rvdt is having wide range of applications in ecological control system. Rvdt is having wide range of applications in ecological control systems. So up till now, what we have seen Rvdt, its construction, working, its specifications, and its application, disadvantages and the advantages. Thank you.